Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm joined with a very good friend of mine, Shivankit Kumar. He's from Delhi, India. He's been in the country since September 2023. He's an IT expert, works in AI among many other things. Came here to Brighton today where he lives for a networking event. What was the name of the event?
Big business breakfast.
Big business, big breakfast business, or BBC club that we came to today. Not BBC, British Broadcasting Company. But yeah, just wanted to have a chat with him about businesses, talk to him about IT, talk to him about AI, talk to him about the startup culture here in Brighton. There's a lot of small to medium-sized companies here in Brighton who are obviously looking to scale their businesses, and the purpose of the networking event was to come have a chat with a couple of people and also explore this beautiful scenic view that I don't get to experience in London. Shivankit lives in one of those buildings there, so he can just literally just stone's throw away from the beach, but myself came all the way. I had to drive 75 miles. Shivankit, welcome to the channel.
Hi, thank you Rishi, thank you for having me.
So Shivankit, talk to me about what exactly does your company do?
So I am the co-founder of a tech startup. We build custom bespoke softwares for medium-sized companies. By custom softwares, I mean we basically build software as per customer needs. And right now we are building softwares in the recruitment industry, in the finance industry, and the healthcare industry.
From a tech standpoint of view, what do you notice the difference between the technology available here in the UK versus what's available in India?
So in terms of technology, across the globe we are almost working on the same technologies. But UK is a far more structured approach.
Okay.
We have a more systematic and we have a more approach which is more designated or actually going in a process.
Okay.
India is developing that and we are reaching that stage now.
But okay, perfect. That makes sense. I wanted to talk to more from a tech standpoint of view. So we have mobile payment gateways. We have Paytm, we have Bharat Pay, we have all these companies in India. And here in the UK, we only have Apple Pay and Samsung Pay, like Google Pay, for example.
Yeah.
Google Wallet.
Yeah.
So from a technological point of view, do you feel that India is more advanced when it comes to these kind of payment softwares, payment companies, as compared to the UK? Like, for example, in India, we walk on the streets, everybody takes Bharat Pay or
Google Pay,
Paytm, Google Pay,
Yeah.
Paytm. Like, let's talk about like Indians, Phone Pay, for example, something like this.
Yeah.
Versus we don't have that technological edge here in the UK.
That's
Why?
true.
Why do you think that's the case from a technological point of view?
So Rishi, I feel that a lot of payment gateways are coming to India for one simple reason, that the internet is now exploding in India.
Okay.
Internet in India is coming to tier 3, tier 4 cities, which means that people who are in the villages and smaller towns are getting access to internet. Now if they're getting access to internet, which means they need to pay.
Yeah.
And because of the current government, things are going online, which is making things easier for the public.
Right.
So that's one of the main reasons that so many payment gateways are coming up in India and are being very successful.
Okay. But we have had internet in this country, in the UK, for I don't know, god number of years, and high-speed broadband, 5G, high-speed broadband, OpenReach from BT's subsidiary basically is invested billions of pounds into high-speed fiber broadband, when it gigabit speed, 1 GB, 2 GB, I believe EE is one of the networks that provides 1.6 GB.
Yep.
So we have the speed, we have the 5G connections here in the UK. Why is it that I take out my iPhone, I can only pay with Apple Pay, or I can pay with if I have a Samsung phone with Samsung Pay?
So
why can someone not, like you, for example, let's say you're a tech guy, I'm a finance guy, I'm a business guy, why can we not do something where we create this app? Why won't that app be successful here?
So one of the reasons might be because of the certain compliances that we have to follow. It's called the GDPR compliances.
Yes.
Although those compliances are there in India, but they are becoming better. And the other part might be that the user base, the user base as compared to India and as compared to UK, it's going to be very different. India is huge in terms of numbers itself within the country.
Yes.
And that user base is going to give you a start. You want to start something, you have a huge user base and you can start it off. So most probably I think it's the number of people using and the success rate behind it. And because people are so used to of Apple and so used to of Google Pay and Apple Pay, that they don't want to change. And change is something that Indians love. We love change, and we
Yes.
love something that's new. And I feel that that's something that's not there in European countries. They like to go the traditional way.
Yes.
And Indians, and we are much more happy doing something different and something new always.
And one of the major reasons that I personally believe, from my experiences and being raised in this country or living in this country for a good number of years, grew up in Ireland, as most of my viewers know. So it's the regulatory element of it. It's not just the GDPR, but it's also the regulatory, the compliance element of it.
Yep.
One has to go through so much paperwork
That's true.
and so much bureaucracy in this country to do
Right.
something. And I wanted to talk about, I mentioned at the event as well with someone regarding Monzo Bank's founder. I was watching a podcast of him.
Yeah.
I forgot his name, the guy who founded Monzo Bank.
Yeah.
He said that when he started off, his family members, people around him, friends, colleagues, whatever, oh, how could you do something like this? No,
That's
this
true.
won't work. This won't. We have this culture here in the UK where, let's not do it. Let's just stick with the traditional approach. Keep things simple, and straightforward. What's been happening has been happening. We're not susceptible to change. We're not ready to change. We do want to change. However, in the US, that American dream lives on. Not many people get to experience that American dream.
That's
okay?
true.
It's a dream, obviously. But they try it. It's better to try and fail than not to try and fail.
And honestly, to add to that, that's how the Indian ecosystem, startup ecosystem is. You
Yeah.
know, people are trying startups. I have personally tried, and I've been I say it's a little successful.
Yeah.
But I have had so many ideas before I started and ventured out into my own thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel the ecosystem that in India is building up is amazing. That's promoting people to actually take a leap of faith and
Yes.
maybe follow their dreams.
Exactly. And that's something that we have to do here in the UK. It's just we're very when I go to the exhibition center in Excel, for all these events and SM business expos and God knows whatever and food expos and whatever in Birmingham, one thing that I notice with a lot of these UK-based businesses, they're not willing to change, be it in terms of the packaging, the branding of the products. It's just super horrible. They're not willing to change whatsoever. And when I say it's horrible, it works for the local market, but when you're scaling a business, that's why Apple, the iPhone,
Yeah.
MacBooks and whatever, that's why they're so popular. So it's just the branding, to be honest. Yes, the products are good, but it's the branding. And we as business advisors, IT consultants, business consultants, that's what we mention to our clients. It's that, you have to be willing to change according to the market that you enter into. Shwankit, I wanted, so now touching on our subject of what we're discussing about the mobile payment
Yeah.
and the gateway and everything, just
Yeah,
the
yeah.
mobile payment apps and everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the mindset now in India or in China. I've lived in China myself personally
Okay.
for 4.5 years.
Wow.
Out of those 4 years, 2.5 to 3 years were literally carrying my phone
Yeah.
and my keys of the apartment.
Right.
That's that.
Right.
As long as my phone is charged,
Right.
I'm good to go. I can pay for my metro,
Right.
I can pay for my food, my
Right.
coffee, whatever,
Right,
taxi,
right.
everything from the app. So
Right,
WeChat or Alipay, as people know,
Yeah.
I've discussed about that.
Yeah.
It's just everything, like China runs on those two apps.
Yeah.
Similar, but however, in the UK, we don't have something similar. Like I walk along the stores of London, certain stores. I'm not talking about
Yeah.
Tesco's and Asda's and Sainsbury's. I'm talking about even corner shops. They would not take cash. Would not take mobile payment apps.
Yeah.
They would be like, it has to be cash only, or minimum £5 or whatever.
Yeah. That's true.
So I feel like it's the mindset, and the reason I'm mentioning about that is I saw a video on TikTok the other day where a British lady
Right.
was in a pub, in a British pub,
Okay.
and in that particular pub, the assistant manager was refusing to accept
Right.
cash, and
Oh.
the lady was like, the customer was, that cash is a legal tender, and you're
Yeah.
refusing to accept British currency in a British pub
Oh.
in the UK.
Yeah.
But I feel like, if this was China or India,
Right.
you would have paid with your phone and off you go. Have your drink, let's go.
Yeah.
So there's this consumer mindset as well, we're not willing to change.
Right.
What's your take on that?
Yes, so I feel that the Indian market, because I'm very much from India, I'm very recently moved to the UK. So
Yeah.
my understanding of the Indian market is that because Indian market is able to adjust to customer needs, so you're able to the merchants there are more flexible. They accept cash, they sometimes even accept checks, and they now are accepting mobile payments and online payments as well.
Yeah.
So that flexibility is there because the Indian customer base is too flexible. As in,
Yeah.
they like multiple things.
Yeah.
Just like our food, we just don't like one thing, right? We love our food to be a platter.
Exactly.
So that's the mindset that Indians and especially Indian merchants have. I'm yet to experience that in UK.
Okay.
UK has some standards and that it follows.
Yes.
A little rigid, but pretty standardized, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, because with certain standards come certain expectations and certain responsibilities that
But
they have
is
to
that is that the reason why the growth is lacking? You know, because is that hindering growth? Do you feel? Like, you know, we have
depends.
economies in like, for example, the US economy. We're talking about the Indian economy, the Chinese economy,
Yeah.
and let's not talk about Chinese AI economy, and that's on a different level altogether. Like Chinese EV car companies.
Yeah.
Let's not talk about that. I ranted about in the past, you know, on my channel about how Indian car companies are not entering particular markets, especially
Yeah.
the UK market,
Yeah.
because of, like, you know, the consumer mindset. You know, we
That's
haven't developed the market yet. But even the UK audience, do you think that's lacking? That this is the reason why we're lacking growth, because we're not willing to change?
Depends, you know, it can be true. Not very experienced in the UK market to give a complete opinion about
Okay.
it, but yes, it can be true, but not completely 100% sure about that. But then I still feel UK market has a lot of potential to have new things.
Yes.
It's just about changing a little bit of mindset.
Yes.
And once that's done, for
suppose,
example,
yeah.
you know, for example, the Indian food.
Yeah.
UK people love the Indian food.
Oh, for sure. Chicken tikka masala is the national dish of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the food can be accepted, maybe technology and other services can be accepted easier as well.